Hello and welcome back to Mzansi. We're back. It is about that time. We hope we are too late for any glitches on our on our what do you call it, on our internet. Normally it helps to be late sometimes, All right, we know that we're late. It's Friday though. I'm sure most of you are not going to work tomorrow or today, to say the least, because it is Saturday today, as of today. So tell us what you thought of this whole proceeding. It was short. It's Friday. Although you didn't have time and the judge allowed it. It was nothing. It was just water under the bridge. But that being said, I think we need to take it step by step all the time. And it could be a very boring what do we call
witness,
evidence or
testimony.
Testimony that is there. So I'm happy about these drips and drops, so that we look at it in depth and understand what is going on. But while we do that, please like the video, share the video, subscribe and become a member. And we appreciate, I already see Lindiwe, Bembe. Thank you very much for your generous offer. It's a welcome. That is very welcome.
Thank you,
we welcome this. Thank you very much for your generous giving, which is Friday. I know Friday people are in good mood. So let us not keep you waiting. Let us just go shoot through. We hope that you're just going to remember to like the video. Otherwise, we're going to have to remind you and disturb the whole process of trying to catch up with you. Just like the video to avoid that headache so that we continue easily and nicely. Tembelani Kanye, hi. You are the first commenter today. Yes, let us continue.
Tembelani. Hi guys, welcome back to the Mzansi Reality YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining us here again for another deliberation on the evidence in chief of the lead investigator of the Senzo Meyiwa case 636 Phosphorus. We are here, we are within. He's busy there telling us how he put this case together. And it's very interesting development, if you ask me.
It's a mess, if you ask me.
It is a mess.
It's a mess.
It is a
logic,
conundrum.
the level of thinking, I don't know. You can question me all you want, but not even a high school kid would actually do this job this way, in my opinion.
Hearsay evidence.
Yeah, we are there in that court because of hearsay evidence. One can literally conclude to that. And remember, I mentioned it yesterday that this is most probably hearsay by the third person. And then today, it's not a coincidence that the judge mentions it and reminds Baloyi to go and read on a certain case. Well, we seem to be able to understand and predict what is going on in that court with ease. We don't need a degree.
I saw someone commenting on the chat that I think the state should stop watching YouTube. I could not help myself. I laughed.
They say they don't watch there, so it's okay. I'm happy over that.
I found that very funny. Well, Gomezulu was late for court today or yesterday. Apparently, they were waiting for him as he was stuck in traffic. Nisi said that he had a client. No, he heard from his client that it has been a culture that each and every time the exhibits of the photographs are shown and beamed in court and shown on the screen for them to see and for them to follow the evidence. And he was requesting for his witness that it should be the case as well. It seems like Advocate Baloyi perhaps forgot yesterday, or had maybe asazi ukwenzakalani, but they were not able to see the photographs that Brigadier GININDA was referring to, especially towards the end of the day. He went and referenced pictures there of accused number 3 that were downloaded from his phone. So Baloyi said that his colleague will only be back on Monday, and I kept asking myself, is Sibanda the one who's responsible for beaming images on the screen, or what? I don't understand. Is that his job? Is that he's the one who beams the pictures?
He's a doctor of beaming.
Why we'll be holding that to now. And according to Advocate Baloyi, Sibanda got his PhD on Friday morning, so he was able to get himself a PhD. Congratulations to him. The judge asked Baloyi how old Sibanda is, and he said he's in his 30s. And he got a PhD at UNISA.
Yeah. There was a time where these things were difficult to acquire, in my opinion.
I'm sorry, we cannot help ourselves.
No, yeah, but it's okay, man. Congratulations are in order.
I was being honest.
And the funny thing is that, yeah, I think we need to go back. Universities such as your VERDS, such as your Free State, UOFs, Stellenbosch, UKZN. They are very stingy with their qualifications. I would say that there's a process that you need to go through to actually acquire certain qualifications. It seems as if UNISA is producing a lot of postgrads these days. It's good, very good. More so from the political side and all that, and everyone.
I'm worried. I would not be worried if, but we are all watching the same case, right? And we've seen.
I get you.
The cross-examination.
Don't say it. Don't.
The standard.
Don't.
But it's fine. Let me not go there. Congratulations to him.
Congratulations are in order.
They are in order.
Yes. Take your flowers.
Now
this
he
probably
will be
the last
referred
time.
to as Dr. Sibanda.
Yeah.
Hi, congratulations.
They are in order. They are in order.
Let's move on. Baloyi asked for the lead investigator before Brigadier GININDA that worked on this case. And Brigadier GININDA said that it was Brigadier Shibiri, who is now a major general, and he's at the national head of organized crime in Pretoria. He's in Pretoria.
Yeah. He's in Pretoria.
I
just said in Cape Town. I got lost when I said Cape Town. I was like, oh, okay. At least he got promotion in Cape Town.
He said Brigadier Shibiri, who was the lead investigator of the Senzo Meyiwa case. Case is 636. He's now the national head of organized crime in Pretoria. So he moved from the Senzo Meyiwa case to be the national head of organized crime in Pretoria. So GININDA said that he was the lead.
It's all happening in Pretoria. People are graduating in Pretoria.
Pretoria, a lot is happening, Kopitori. A lot is happening, Kopitori, Mr. Anonymous. Pitori seems like it's the city where it's at. A lot is happening, Kopitori. So Gininda said that he was the lead, but some of his team members took statements. And he got that from the briefing because he had to consult with him once he got on this matter. He said that he was actively involved in the investigation and he was the lead investigator, but the coordinator was Brigadier Sinono. The Brigadier Sinono is now a Major General of the Hawks in KZN. So again, Baloyi started the day with doing a little bit of discrediting Yana here and there of MAKHUBO and Warrant Officer MAKHUBO and Colonel Buthelezi.
You know, Warrant Officer
in my
MAKHUBO
opinion,
is
because he fa with a bit of discrediting.
It seems like his pain to these people is giving them pain.
Every morning he must start with discrediting them. That's the most important priority because they say you start with what you deem as important, right? So he's starting every morning.
You start praying against your enemies.
Yeah, you just.
That's the first thing you do. You get up, you kneel down, say, all my enemies, lay the table in front
before
of their face,
my
before
enemies.
their face, man, so that they can see. We're not gonna go without it.
Icon, this one, you cannot not help but not side eye or look at it, because someone was even saying on the chat that the way they are so obsessed with MAKHUBO, it's not okay. They should tone it down a bit, and I happen to agree with that person, because now it's like, okay, why does it give a sense that you're afraid of these people? Why do you have to start every morning by doing a little bit of discrediting, a little bit of here and there? Maybe if you put them last, list of importance, put them last. Why are you always putting them first? Now we are like, wow, let's start with discrediting these two. So Baloyi asked him, you said Warrant Officer MAKHUBO deposed to an affidavit of case 375. And Gininda said that he is registered as the complainant to Warrant Officer MAKHUBO on 375. Lieutenant Colonel Buthelezi also made an affidavit in case 375. So Baloyi asked him on the 28th of August 2024, Mgomezulu put a preposition to Mangena that MAKHUBO is investigating case 375. Is it normal for someone who deposed an affidavit to also be an investigator? And Gininda said, no, you can't be the complainant and investigator. There are instances where police officers open cases. He says that he's done that himself, but you will do the best that you can, that the investigator is not the complainant, because there will be a conflict. You can imagine when the investigating officer collects evidence on his behalf to support his narrative as the complainant. So it's a practice that's not normal.
Deborah Mohashwa, thank you very much.
Thank you, Deborah,
for your gift. We appreciate you. May God bless you.
Bless you.
Everyone who has
Fill
given.
your pockets.
Everyone who has liked.
Thank you.
Everyone who's a member. Everyone who's a subscriber. Everyone who's binge watching us. Also, God bless you. All of you guys.
May you increase finances.
May you continue binge watching.
Get
may
more
you continue
ideas.
Subscribing. And may you continue in everything that you are doing to this channel that is positive. Thank you very much. We appreciate you.
So this was quite rather strange. When he mentioned this, I could not ignore it. I'm wondering to myself, okay, this must be a very big thing. So according to them, as an investigating officer, can also have a statement in the docket and investigate the same docket. So Baloyi then said, you mentioned you made copies of the docket in this case. Are you aware if Warrant Officer MAKHUBO carried a copy of the docket of case 636? And Gininda said he didn't have it. So the original docket was also contained by him. He said that Warrant Officer MAKHUBO and Buthelezi only had copies, so they had access to see the original. He said that when the copies were made for Lieutenant Buthelezi, they were made in her office. Brigadier Gininda is saying that he delegated someone or some of the members from his team And then I become very confused because yesterday you had said that you were one team. And then now you're telling us that you delegated someone from his team to go and make copies for Lieutenant Colonel Buthelezi in her office.
Subsequently.
And the original was always with him. He said that he always carried the original docket with him, and it was always maintained by him. The only time that the docket would leave him was when it was sent to the DPP in Pretoria and then returned to him. This docket went to a DPP in Pretoria. Like I said, a lot is going on in Pretoria.
Yeah.
A Phosphorus case. The docket is
Isn't
taken.
it the DPP is in charge of the whole area?
I guess there's North Gauteng and South Gauteng.
DPP?
Yes.
Who's the DPP in North Gauteng?
The one for the region of Phosphorus and that section was Chauke. Do you remember? Do you remember being mentioned that the DPP there was Chauke? There's a different DPP for North Gauteng. Director of Public Prosecutions.
I'll Google you.
Then Brigadier GININDA said that when Major General Shibiri was still the lead investigator, okay, this is Baloi actually was asking that since Major General, it's Chauke.
So this was supposed to go to Chauke.
It did go to him apparently, but now he's telling us about the one for, who's the one for North Gauteng? Who's the one, the DPP for North Gauteng, or who was the DPP for North Gauteng in 2020? Because very interesting developments. That's all I can say. So Baloi asked him when Major General Shibiri was still the lead investigator. He asked the Brigadier GININDA if he knew if Warrant Officer MAKHUBO carried the original docket. GININDA said no. As far as he knows, Warrant Officer MAKHUBO was not part of that investigation team. Even though copies were made, he never had the original. So this is completely isolating Warrant Officer MAKHUBO from the investigating team, in my opinion, to say that maybe he's trying to create an impression that he imposed himself. He was never a part of that team. However, Colonel Buthelezi was accompanied to her office to make a copy of the docket. And Warrant Officer MAKHUBO, according to Brigadier GININDA, no, he did not know whether he had any knowledge of having the original docket of 636. So Baloi then said in cross-examination of Mangena, Mgomezulu said that Warrant Officer MAKHUBO said he was called to the scene upon his arrival. Shadrack Sibiya asked him if he observed what happened here, and after assessing the scene, MAKHUBO said that there were no intruders that came in there. So Mgomezulu put that proposition to Mangena, and he asked Brigadier GININDA for a comment. Now, this was very interesting how Advocate Baloi put it. You know, it was very interesting because I kept thinking, I don't recall Mgomezulu putting it to Mangena like this. It sounds so crass and so careless. Something... I'm like, it sounds like something Mgomezulu would never do, especially in the presence of Judge Mokgwatleng. You know, Judge Mokgwatleng pays attention to what the defense has to say. It sounds very blunt, very like... So I had to go back, family. I had to go back and discover exactly what had happened, because I'm like, no, I cover this case. There's no way I had this question being asked like this. So... General Sibiya.
Okay, DPP for North Gauteng is Bongile Mzinyathi.
I think that's the current one. Is it the current one?
Yeah.
But it was a different one around 2020.
I guess so.
I remember in the trial within a trial, he did mention the name. It's just that I forgot it.
For South Gauteng, still Andrew Chauke.
It's still Andrew Chauke.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have the list now, at least.
So yes, there's a DPP for North Gauteng High Court Division, and then there's also a different one for the South Gauteng. And it's very interesting that Force Lauders doesn't form a part of North Gauteng, so for it to just be parachuted like that
to Andrew Chauke.
It was supposed to go there first.
We should be dealing with Sibongile Mzinyati right now.
You know, and now we are in a position where it goes straight to Pretoria in the High Court. And now we find that quite a number of the people that are working on this case, the police officers in particular, are in Pretoria. And it's like...
It's a place of... It's a scene, in a sense. You could literally say that this happened in the police station or something, or in that office in Pretoria of the police.
It's all very interesting, and we still don't have an explanation as to why the jurisdiction.
You'll never have it.
We don't.
Well, someone who tried to ask about it is there in jail.
They're sitting in jail. Well, General Sibiya called MAKHUBO to the side and asked him to reconstruct the scene. That is what my notes said. Okay, that is what I heard.
Yeah.
To reconstruct the scene, not this manner that Advocate
What was the question? What
did
Baloyi say?
Baloyi had put it in as to say that General Sibiya called MAKHUBO to come and give an opinion. To come and tell him what had happened in the scene. He didn't include this very important term of reconstructing the scene.
He did.
Where did he include it? I did not hear it.
I called him aside and asked him about the opinion, what he thought, and then reconstructing of the scene.
I did not hear.
And then the answering of GININDA was in that line. He even said, it's baseless. You cannot reconstruct the scene without the experts.
No, but initially Baloyi did not ask the question like this. I know it sounds like I'm being difficult, but I picked it up. I was like, the way it's being asked is not. It doesn't feel like. But then, if you're saying that it is, then I don't know, but that's what I heard, fam. That's what I heard. Then GININDA responded to say that he cannot comment as to whether there was a discussion between Warrant Officer MAKHUBO and General Sibiya on that day. He said that he didn't know if they met and what was discussed.
Well, you can almost say they did meet, in a sense. I mean, Sibiya, it was not a secret that he was there on that scene, right? He even was there on the documentary, saying a lot of things. The scene was already contaminated. Did he say that? Right.
Yes, he said
I think he said that on the documentary. So, yeah. Whatever that you guys, Umsia and everyone was busy trying to construct, the expect you're talking about. According to Sibiya.
Did he call Musia an expect?
He is an expert. He is an expert. According to Sibiya, that scene was already contaminated.
But then he hasn't come to court. You know that if it's not said in court, it's as long as we know as the court of public opinion that he said it in the documentary.
But Mgomezu was promising to subpoena, to get him to come.
Dana, what was the reason that was given for them not coming in the trial within a trial?
They said they're going to call them. In a sense, that's an impression that we were given. Unfortunately, then we started playing a chess game, the numbers game, in my opinion, as to who's coming with what and what are they bringing and what side of the story are they going to show. We forgot Rob versus Hepworth conveniently, but we did use it to distract the whole process, because these people would have been called, some of them in a trial, but Baloyi said he was going to call them, and then he packed them. Now, Baloyi has decided otherwise, and
he's mentioning them now in the evidence of Brigadier GININDA. So he said that what he can refer to is the docket to Brigadier GININDA. It is a guideline in terms of preliminary analysis that was done in terms of the preliminary analysis that was done on the 26th of October 2014. He said that if you take the docket into account and the facts that he was going to mention as subsequent to this, that preposition is baseless. Called it a baseless preposition, and he said he was going to indicate why. He said that when you reconstruct a crime scene, this is where Brigadier GININDA mentions reconstruct the crime scene. Obalo, in his question, it wasn't there. He was asking it blatantly as if General Sibiya asked MAKHUBO, and then MAKHUBO showed up and then looked at the scene and then was like, there were no intruders. That's how he asked the question. So Brigadier GININDA now included the reconstructing, and he was now educating the masses on what happens when you reconstruct the crime scene. He said that he was starting there, and he said that you will require expertise, especially in this matter, because we have facts. It's not an assumption. You can look at what happened in this crime scene, the photos that were taken. There is blood projectors that were found. Logic dictates that you'll expect blood spatter experts to be there, ballistic experts to be there, crime scene managers to be there. Those are experts who are qualified in the reconstruction of the crime scene, and that could not have been overlooked if you take into account the senior members of the police who were at the crime scene. So what he's saying there is that if Warrant Officer MAKHUBO had done this reconstruction of the crime scene, then he was supposed to have shown up with all these people, the blood spatter people, the ballistic people, the
it
wara
would seem you don't even need the blood spatter people according to what that scene was, in any sense.
There was no blood spatter expert that came to testify.
It would seem you don't need it because there was no blood.
No, I guess the blood spatter expert was going to tell the court what happens when a person is shot with a specific firearm. The blood, the expectation of the blood.
I hear you.
And the scene that they usually deal with such a bullet going through this particular region of the body at close range, or one less isn't less. So a blood spatter person was going to explain perhaps or give a better idea to the court as to what could have happened to the blood. But they were never called, so we will never know. Secondly, once that is done, he said, Brigadier GININDA, in the docket, you would have found the statement from Warrant Officer MAKHUBO indicating, for example, what he has done in the reconstruction of the crime scene. And he said in the docket that they've disclosed to the defense there's no such a statement. And then I'm like, okay, fine, there are no such a statement, but why would it be there when it is being allegedly that some statements they get legs and they get out of the docket? So why would Warrant Officer MAKHUBO have confidence to put his work in a docket where statements disappear allegedly? You know, it's the question. I'm just asking. And secondly, there's no statement by anyone who was there on the 26th of October 2014 indicating that Warrant Officer MAKHUBO was asked to reconstruct any crime scene. How do you know that? What if he has it somewhere else? What if it's in 375? We haven't seen 375. We don't know what it looks like. We haven't seen 636 either. So, Warrant Officer MAKHUBO will come and explain his part or these very allegations that have been thrown at him.
It will be difficult for him to exonerate himself from wherever that they've put him, because I have seen that court. It changes. The tone and everything changes. The demeanor, it changes. Well, that court can breathe and can see it, can choose sides, in my opinion. there's a bit of undermining because MAKHUBO, in what I heard, is not that well spoken as subsequently
To the effect that.
to the effect. So yeah, it does get difficult, and I hope that he finds it in himself to relax and try to use as more vernac as he can. And I'm hoping that the interpreter would have been changed by that time, in my opinion.
Even Brigadier GININDA was correcting that interpreter. He's bad.
I know.
In my opinion,
we don't
he's
say
the worst.
someone's work is bad, but icon.
I feel very sorry for the people who can't hear English well, who are sitting in that court. It's a train wreck.
The guy can literally change something. That
He
is
changes meanings of things. It's very bad. So I feel honestly for people that don't hear English to the T, because haizia kala when you're listening to just the interpreter. Ubi. Even when objections are raised, he doesn't interpret for them. He just keeps quiet. Ubi. So yes, I was trying to bring up this point, Mr. Anonymous, with regards to that whole thing with Baloyi saying that SBIYA, the one that I was emphasizing on. When I look back at the record, the judge even made comments saying that MAKHUBO, because Mgomezulu had put it to Mangena that Warrant Officer MAKHUBO will testify that he told General SBIYA that there was no intruders in there. This is after he did his own crime scene reconstruction at the instructions of General SBIYA, right? So the judge even made a comment saying that MAKHUBO came 3 hours after the scene, the house was empty, and he said there were no intruders. The judge said that. So already I'm feeling this biasness happening.
You're still feeling it when this biasness, I'm done with it. I'm already immune to it. That part. I'm not giving a verdict. I'm just saying things. These are facts. Today, didn't you catch that? These are facts, that there was someone with threats who went there, and there's only one person. Judge saying that is still gonna adjudicate, sit there, give a verdict to these people.
For me, it was very interesting looking back, and I'm like, oh my God. This statement, when I saw it again, that the judge actually said that what he means is that they gave MAKHUBO 3 hours. He came after 3 hours while the house was empty, and said that there were no intruders. And I'm like,
funny enough, the very same SBIYA also said that scene was already contaminated.
It was contaminated. He said it in the documentary. He said it. The scene was already.
And then the court does not call him.
No.
The truth is what is being said by Baloyi. In my opinion, that's where the truth is. Anything that Baloyi GININDA says and team them, it's true. It's okay. It's all right. It can be defended. Anything that the defense is saying.
And every time,
every
time, the judge is not really being objective.
No, it's not.
He's not. Every time I try to give the benefit of the doubt, I just become disappointed. I mean, when I look back I was like, there's no hope. So Brigadier GININDA continued to say that there's no indication from Warrant Officer MAKHUBO or any of the other witnesses who were at the crime scene, including neighbors, to say that they were interviewed by Warrant Officer MAKHUBO on that day. The only crime scene aspects that they have in this docket from the first time on the day of the incident, he said, you will pick up Warrant Officer Musia. Notice how he refers to Musia with his new promoted rank Warrant Officer Musia. At the time, he was Constable Musia. He became Warrant Officer Musia as he was testifying in court. This was 2023.
They say these trees whisper. Isn't he in Standardton or something like that?
Yes, and now he's in Mpumalanga.
Well, he's still keeping tracks on him, well, because he knows.
He knows his rank now. He's Warrant Officer Musia. I was like, wow. You know he's a warrant officer. You are updated. Wow. Well, he said that he was subsequently followed by Mhlahlo on the following day. Well, warrant officer was Warrant Officer Mhlahlo.
The one who broke this case open.
The one who found the bullet on
the bullet between the glass jars.
The following day. Yes, in the glass, behind glass jars, yes. On the kitchen counter. So yes, he said that on the following day, and the ballistic experts who came. So on the 26th of October 2014, there's no indication except for the local detectives. Even then, who were present, their statements are there. There's no indication of his or this assertion that he was being told about. And based on that, he said he saw no basis. He was guided by the docket, and he said that he was not there when this thing happened, but the docket does tell him that this was done, that they were intruders. That's what the docket told him. So Baloyi then moved on and told him that they were now going to deal with the confession of accused number 1 that he made to Colonel Mboto. The version of accused number 1 is that what is stated in this document does not come from him. So they asked him for his comment regarding the contents of the document, and GININDA said that it can't be true. He said, I'm basing that on the details of the confession that could have only been known by accused number 1. I did not even know the details that are contained here. I can deal with them as we go along. At the time accused number 1 was approached, the only statement we had was from Absalom Zungu, which implicated accused number 1 and number 2. In his confession, he now mentions the names of Marco Buthelezi and Qiniselani, which could only have come from him. He read the part of the confession where it said that accused number 1 said that he was with Marco and Makimba, and he said that this was the version that he continued to give them until the time that he alleged that they went to kill the deceased. He said they followed this matter and found that it was not correct because these 2 people were in prison from 2013 up until 2016. GININDA said that Makimba was also Qiniselani Buthelezi. So Makimba's real name or ID name was Qiniselani Buthelezi. And this is the name that accused number 2 said in his testimony that they referred to him as when they were arresting him or when they had come to arrest him on the 16th of June 2020 at his place of residence in Rustenburg. I need you guys to process this. Bongani Ntanzi said that when Mokhani was arresting him on that night, he was referring to him as Qiniselani Buthelezi.
And wait, before we even go further, did you notice how he made it seem like in this so-called confession, accused number 1 was confessing into 3 people other than him? Qiniselani separated with Makimba. And then later on, Qiniselani and Makimba became one person. So, in your own ways of thinking, if you guys can really think, here are 5 people that are accused. Accused number 2 says he was called this Buthelezi person.
Yes. That's what they refer.
Accused number 5, who was at Alagabusha in KZN, that side of Mbageni. He came into court way earlier, he said, this guy who's figure up what is going to arrest abafana bakabthelis, right? If you remember,
in court, in the Boksburg,
in Boksburg court, when they were refusing to go to
number 5.
Accused number 5, he said, this man, lobaba loyakanga lobaba. He came there, he told us he's going to arrest abafana bakabthelis. Then later on, it changes. Now it's us.
That is a strange coincidence.
It's very early, before everything. Ntanzi was still allegedly represented by Mjiako, who came out of nowhere, allegedly. Yeah. This case, Marayona, in the eyes, if Mina was to sit down and be a judge, I would throw this case where the sun does not shine. Simple as that. It just does not make sense that people, if you listen and collect everything that you have heard, de novo after de novo, people changing things and whatever they were saying, changing theories and all that, Kelly was going to be called before de novo. Later on, Kelly is a suspect.
Yeah. Yes.
You know,
yes,
even a young kid can see what I call.
From Kelly being called to come and testify to
and
Kelly
then
being a suspect.
Announcing we are not going to call it.
Like this. So GININDA said that they managed to get to Qiniselani and a statement was obtained from him as he was trying to corroborate this confession. Now I'm still stuck there. I'm still puzzled at the fact that, okay, fine, you got your confession from accused number 1. You see there on the statement that, okay, accused number 1 is talking about Marco and Makimba. Let's assume that that confession is anything to go by, right? We're making a scenario here. And then you go and you get your statement from Qiniselani and Marco, and you find out that, oh, these people were arrested in 2013. There's no way they were at Fort Loras on 2014. They were inside the prison at Kalagabusha. Fine, you got your statement. Now, how did we get to Bongani Tansi? How did it now go to accused number 2 being Bongani Tansi? Because you were looking for Buthelezi, right? Buthelezi brothers. So,
who was arrested first between Tanzi and accused number 1?
It's accused number 1.
Accused number 1 was arrested
of
first,
May.
and then accused number 1 makes such statements, and
confession.
Then Tanzi comes in and says, "No, I was called this person.
I was called
number
Buthelezi as they were arresting me." And then you are telling us that you actually followed up and you went and you found that these 2 people that are mentioned in accused number 1's confession were in prison. But how did we get now to Ntanzi being there? Like, he said that he found him at Kalagabusha prison, and that is where he was incarcerated. And the record confirmed that he was indeed in detention with his brother from 2013 to 2016, where Qiniselani was then arrested again, and Marco was then killed in 2019. He said he obtained the death certificate. So GININDA said that in his confession, or in that confession of accused number 1, he gave a description of someone who had dreadlocks being the one carrying the firearm, and it appears to be accused number 3. So the question now would be, did the Buthelezi brothers have dreadlocks, or one of them have dreadlocks?
Hey, we are one of them dreadlocks. It's not gonna go anywhere. Because I don't know how to say this.
Because now it's saying accused number 1's confession is saying that one of the people had
this
dreadlocks.
Whole confession and case, it's like a young kids, grade, say 7 kids, writing a homework. You know, you do expect spelling problems and all that.
Hi. I Kunzima. I mean, I'm finding this difficult to digest. It's difficult for me to believe this.
It's a script. It keeps on changing all the time. We talk about silver polo. It moves. I don't know how Balo it does it, but it does. Now it's a gray polo. I'm telling you, all along yesterday, it was silver polo, silver polo, silver polo, silver polo. The ID was used to link with silver polo, you know. And then Sizwe also talked about silver polo. And then come this Mutlo, who says accused number 5 was linked with gray polo, hashback. And then the theory changes now. It's gray polo, hashback.
I even heard a white.
And, there is a white one. Forget about that one. I'm just talking about that gray polo. There's a thin line between gray.
What color is this polo? What color? What polo is this? Is it a hatchback? Is it another type of name?
You know,
what polo is this?
The men and you could miss them. These things, né? You think, these people have a watertight case. They keep on changing along the way. A revolver can grow and become
a pistol.
A pistol. A proper pistol. Automatic pistol.
And now
everything of theirs, it starts as a kid and it changes.
And then it grows big. And it grows big. And it is huge. And even with the firearm, you heard Brigadier GININDA trying to enforce it, that it is actually evidence that they are done and dusted with, and it belongs. It's the one. It's the. He was trying to conclude that.
Yeah, the case of it. Now, I won't lie to you, because what we are watching here, people are collecting a PhD and all that, and this is the case that. This is the best. This is the best assignment you can come with.
You know, sometimes I even maybe thought to myself that maybe the reason for this poor performance on this case is because maybe he's been occupied with studies, you know. I'm like, maybe. I don't know. But...
and Uno moved and it grew to a VW...
There was an Uno.
There was an Uno. Point. Yes.
There was a mentioning of an Uno. What happened to that Uno?
Well, Absalom Zoom. Absalom, is it Absalom?
Yes,
no, not Absalom. No, talking about the
Kulu.
He used to call it a witch doctor. Now it's
now he's no longer calling him a witch doctor.
He used to call him a witch doctor. Umkulu comes and say, "Angimbondo muntu la." Hey, that court, it changes. Everything has changed.
Now they've changed.
This CBI has become that one. The one that you are watching. In front of you. We are watching the very same case. You go back, you review again, you check.
Let me go double check.
You go and check. Umkulu is saying, on record, I am imbondo mfana la. They changed the whole story. I don't know. But let's continue, Amen.
Now he went on to accuse number 1 that he changed the name to try and mislead them. He further made mention that when the perpetrators went inside the house, they demanded cell phones and money. So, if you found out that he changed the names to mislead you, now, where does the names change? When did Sibia change the names and tell you the actual names?
No, Emil. No. He likes using logic. Let us use logic. Sibia talks about 2 people, and he becomes the third one. Let's say SBI was changing the names. There are 5 people. He should have changed names of 5 people. not 2 people.
Mm.
You know?
Yes,
5
now
people.
that you mentioned, there are 5 people there.
Now, SBIYA'S theory has 3 people.
Yes.
Him being outside, 2 being inside. Where, behold, not only SBIYA is outside, but SBIYA is able to narrate exactly what happened inside. And, well, I guess, and is narrating it not to say they told He's narrating it as if he was inside.
He was there. He saw it happen. He saw Kelly run into the room. He saw it all.
No, but you get confused here. According to SBIYA, Kelly did not just start running to the room. He first ran to the toilet. And then he came back and they were still fighting. Then there was a first shot. And then he ran to the room.
My head hurts. Like, guys, yo. So he said that this is in line with the witness statements of the occupants of the house.
That is in line.
He mentioned a white polo, but we know that it was a gray polo.
No. Those are 2 separate cars. Mm. There is a white one, and then there is a gray, wishing to be silver one.
But then on accused number 1's confession, he said there's a white polo. There was a white polo that was being.
And now this is where the thing is. Still, it makes sense to GININDA. So I guess between the 2, accused number 1 was lying about the white polo. Mm. Yeah, I guess that's what he's going to say. I mean, he's able to detect who's lying and who's not lying.
Yeah.
The lie detector.
Guys, my head hurts. But then he said that gray polo is associated with accused number 5. That is the vehicle that was used in commission of this offense.
Mm-hmm.
Baloy asked him, how did you establish that it was associated with accused number 5? Then GININDA said they used accused number 5's ID number to try and establish the vehicle linked to him. Through assistance of the traffic department, they linked him to the gray VW Polo. Other witness statements.
They linked him through the handwritten infringement ticket. Just capture that. It's handwritten. A handwritten infringement ticket. They linked him to a white polo. And then there was another offense that he did, again, to a white polo. And then later, they linked the other one to a gray hatchback polo, hatchback VW.
He tried to say that other witnesses' statements also said that accused number 5 was driving that car on that day, the gray polo.
And which witness other than Zungu?
We're going to say it's Zungu. And please keep in mind,
Zungu talked about silver and then later gray.
And this now is a bit tricky as well, because we can all remember and recall how Zungu presented a typed statement in court as well. That let us not forget that important detail. And when asked where the handwritten statement was, because he had said that he wrote his own statement and it got typed. So when they asked him where's the original one, he had to adjourn so that he can go to KZN, because he said he left it in KZN. And then when he came back, he said it was shredded in Brigadier.
He was afraid to go to KZN.
No, and it was all very. It was like, okay, so you typed the whole statement. This typed statement had to be. You guys remember, I don't have to remind you. Then GININDA read out Matlo's affidavit that detailed the infringement notice given to accused number 5, the handwritten ticket.
It had to be handwritten. Like, I'm worried about that handwritten infringement ticket.
In 2016, 0209, while he was driving a white VW in Johannesburg, he also read an infringement notice issued to him by a traffic officer, M.A. Mudisan, in 2016, 0320. This is March. And then the other one was in February. the 9th, same year. And he was driving a grey VW Polo now.
Let me tell you, me, a layperson who wanted to investigate the theory of this guy driving a grey Polo, I would have asked for an ownership history of these cars.
Of the vehicle.
Yes. That's what I would have done.
That's where you start.
So when I come to court, I present and say, indeed, my lord, this person was driving this car in 2014 also, not only in 2016.
Now, why are we being only referencing in 2016?
It was going to be simple because here is the ownership. This person is driving this car. If he borrowed it around this time, my lord. But no. We are told about what happened in 2016. Same as the cell phones, that the activities that were happening in 2016 to prove whatever that people want to prove. We are told about 2016. So what you are driving now could actually get you arrested for 2009. Kagiso, thank you very much for joining membership.
And this Polo, it's silver, it's grey, it's
changes.
White,
it changes.
It has so many colors.
It changes.
And to find that in 1 year alone, it moved from being white to being grey. Or rather, maybe there are two different ones. I don't know. But what are we supposed to make of this?
Yes.
And he said that it was issued in Johannesburg, Klein Street, the second one, the one that is grey. The ticket that was issued, it was in Klein Street. He even gave the cell phone number. And Mshololo objected, saying that the witness who gave this evidence did put that evidence on record. So it's repetition. She also said that the evidence is irrelevant because the infringement notices were given in 2016.
On the basis that these people, they failed to prove their ownership in 2016. I think Mshololo did not submit fully. I was going to say, on the basis that, my lord, we are told about what happened in 2016. Now we are supposed to use that as a point of reference of what happened in 2014. So if you are driving a white car now, my lord, you are guilty of what happened in 2002, even if you are driving that car now. You could have been driving something, you could have been not even driving, you could have been using a bicycle for all I know. But because you are driving a white car, that was at some point, someone saw you driving a white car there that looks like that, you're guilty of that. So it's irrelevant. And Balo argues that, what is it called? It's what evidence? I don't.
Hey, well, she said that she objects on the basis of irrelevancy and reputation. This is where Advocate Baloy now said that there are witnesses who mentioned a grey Polo, but Matlo did indicate that the infringements were issued to accused number 5. He said this is irrelevant and they will argue that it is a strong circumstantial evidence. No, it's not.
How could
No, it's not strong circumstantial evidence. It's not. No way. And he said that as far as reputation is concerned, context must be given. That is why the witness is referring to the affidavit of Mr. Matlo. He said that they submit that the evidence should be allowed. This Polo that kept changing colors, ne? It must be allowed.
It's a chameleon.
And for 2016, not 2014.
It changes colors like a chameleon. They adjust according to evidence.
Guys,
I've only seen one thing doing that.
I cannot keep up.
Adjust according to the environment around it.
The things that happened in that court are shocking. The judge allowed that evidence. And he said it's on the basis of relevance. But I said that the version of accused number 1 is seen on the record of the 11th of October 2023, where Gomez Yundu said that accused number 1 said he had never made a statement and the statement was brought to him. So after the adjournment, Baloyi said to Mr. GININDA that he also mentioned Constable Sizwe Zungu, who said that accused number 5 was driving a grey Polo, and GININDA said that's correct. Then he went on to explain how they corroborate evidence, saying that they check evidence against what is already contained in the docket. GININDA said that it is also in the interest of justice on both sides, because sometimes the suspect may point a crime scene that is not the one, and you'd realize that he does not know anything about the actual crime scene. So it is in the interest of justice on both sides. This is where Advocate Mnisi now objected, saying that the investigating officer's primary function is to investigate the case and bring objective evidence before court. It is for the court.
Bring facts.
It's for the court.
You must only bring facts. Don't come and tell
analyze.
us what you think. You basically wrote a judgment for us.
It's like you was telling Rata and Advocate Baloyi what to do. It felt like that. It felt like he was doing their jobs all in one. And when Advocate Mnisi raises this objection, he's made to look like he is insane or he's out of order, you know? And I'm like, but this is an objection that makes sense. Why are you guys like gaslighting him like this, you know? And even the gestures that the judge is making is like, it's preposterous. No, Mnisi said that it is for the court to analyze that evidence. What this witness is now doing is embarking on a process of analyzing evidence which should be left to the court after the court is seized with that objective evidence that came from the investigating officer. It is not his duty to assist the court on how to analyze the evidence. They are taking over what the court is supposed to be doing. And he said that they are expecting Mr. GININDA to say in the course of their investigation, this is what they found, and this is what connects accused number 1 and how it connects accused number 2. Like I asked, like how did he go to accused number 2, specifically Bongani Ntanzi? How did he end up in there? Because you were looking for Buthelezi brothers. Okay, so now you are failing to connect that. You are now using Zungu as your frame of reference to tell us that Zungu is the one who spoke about the grey polo leading. We jumped to accused number 5. We still don't understand how did accused number 2 landed there from the confession of accused number 1.
That you arrested number 1, how did accused number 2?
There's no connection, none whatsoever, that you have come and presented in court.
In this thing is that accused number 2 does not have cases that stick.
No, none of them stick.
So you cannot claim. You kept that man beyond at your site, as you mentioned. You said you wanted to keep them in your site. And then eventually they confessed.
We're still in limbo about that. And here you are trying to explain that the evidence, this, the evidence that, analyzing the evidence of no.
How did you arrest accused number 1 and subsequently went on to arrest accused number 2?
Number 3, number 4,
number 2,
number 5.
Maybe accused number 2 can be said to be the one that mentioned them. But how did you reach accused number 2? Yes. What is the correlation?
Right there. Connect those dots right there. Connect them.
Try to collaborate that. Collaborate.
He's busy now corroborating the polo of accused number 5, which is grey, white, silver, whatever.
Yes, try to collaborate. As we continue to collaborate on our side, but tell us how you actually got there.
And he said that it is not for him to come and speak as to how the evidence they found is relevant with the connection of each of the accused person. He said that he's strongly objecting to the process that this witness was embarking on. This is Mnisi giving this objection, which was very, very loaded. Baloyi threw shade to say that he does not know whether he is objecting against the process or against what he said, or trying to link the confession of accused number 1 to the objective facts of this matter. But be that as it may, what the witness is trying to explain is what he explained yesterday. He says there appears a misunderstanding. So he is merely rehashing the explanation that he gave yesterday when Advocate Nisi was objecting. That is all he was doing.
Guys, please press the like button. I see the numbers are not numbering. Please press the like button. 400, almost 400, 550. We have 280 likes. Please press the like button, guys. Remember to press that like button. Let's continue, Amy.
The judge asked GININDA to repeat what he said, that they could all understand him. GININDA, so this is like throwing shade as well to Advocate Nisi to make him seem like he wasn't understanding what GININDA was saying. Yes, the details of this. Well, GININDA said that the corroboration of the confession is not the rehashing of evidence. When a confession is made, you need to corroborate the facts. And that is in the interest of justice, because let's assume where great injustice can be done. A person makes a confession but points a different scene, and then because he made a confession, you just take it and file it. You don't collaborate it as to whether the scene that is being pointed is relevant to the matter that you're investigating. You have to collaborate. He's doing that thing again. That thing that I was complaining about the other time, you guys, he was doing it again. And he thinks that collaborate. It's not. I think he meant to say corroborate. Corroborate. I think that's what he was trying to say, but he kept saying collaborate.
You said collaborate.
Collaborate. And he said it is to find credence, to find evidence, and to prove that is exactly what he was referring to. And it's not a rehearsal of what Colonel Mboto wrote, what Lieutenant Colonel Rapadu wrote, and what the magistrate. And he said to say after he received the confession, and as Minister Mnisi rightfully says that he is the investigating officer, he said that he had the duty to investigate, and he's presenting the facts. What he found. He said that when he compared what was found in the confession statements in relation to the docket, he went on and on explaining. Mina, honestly, personally, in my opinion, I wasn't getting this explanation. Because to me it sounded like, okay, it's like you were playing missing the puzzle. You were playing missing the puzzle. What it sounds like, in my opinion, Cheyenne, it's like you already believed that they were intruders, and you were going and finding what will corroborate the belief that they were intruders. That's what it's sounding like, especially when you keep going on these long explanations. It's now starting to sound like that to us, the court of public opinion, to us laymen, that actually, what investigations did you actually do before you made a conclusion? It seems like you started with a conclusion and then you did the investigation afterwards. And an investigation is not an investigation per se. It's more like, I need to find what supports what I believe. And it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right at all. At least if you could have called it a hypothesis, at least. Don't say there were no intruders in the house. Now let me go try and find what can support that there were intruders in the house. So the judge then said that he is not taking over the court's role. He is just collaborating. Because I was also thinking to myself that, this bold answering of over-explaining and whatever, it seemed like maybe it's stuff that he learns when he's studying for his law degree or stuff, because it felt like he's kind of taking over Advocate Baloyi's job as a state prosecutor. It felt that way as he was going on and on and on and on.
It is that way, and let's continue.
Well, the judge said that he's not taking over the court's role, he's just collaborating. And Mnisi said that all that they are interested in is that he collected evidence. It can be direct or could be circumstantial evidence. They're not interested in his views. He is doing the court's work. He is penning his own judgment. Nisi said, I don't know why, because he's just an investigating officer. He's only here to assist the court with the facts. Okay. And I'm like, okay, maybe he's putting his law study theory to use. Was bad.
To him, this is like
it's like a practice. I don't know, but I was very baffled. Then Baloyi said that there was the witness that he was saying that there's a section 209 that he mentioned yesterday. The judge also got in and supported GININDA by saying that the evidence was clear, that there was a person with dreadlocks. There were no 6 or 10 guys with dreadlocks. And then he made the conclusion that it must have been accused number what, you know. And he said that he was not bound.
He said it's a fact.
It is a fact that there was a person with dreadlocks.
It's a fact that it was accused. It's Mrs. Client.
It's a fact, judge.
No, the GININDA.
Oh, GININDA said it was a fact. And then he said that I'm not bound by what he says. I'm bound by the facts. This is the judge now saying that he's not bound by what Brigadier GININDA says. He's bound by the facts. And he said that.
There you go.
Now that the court said it is trained enough to separate the wheat from the chaff, and then there's nothing more that he could do, and he sat down. Well, Advocate Baloyi continued, and he referred GININDA now to the court record of the 7th of September 2023. Now, this is Zungu's evidence in chief, where he said that accused number 5 was driving a grey Polo hatchback. GININDA then said that another corroborating element. I remember being puzzled. Where does Zungu get the hatchback? Because when he first testified, he said it was silver, did he not? And then when he came back I think it was after an adjournment or something, he came back and then now said it was a grey Polo hatchback. I found that very weird at the time. You know, and then GININDA said that another corroborating element was the mentioning of the name Senzo Meyiwa by accused number 1. And GININDA said, in other words, there is no other deceased by the name Senzo Meyiwa. So, since accused number 1 is denying that he ever made that confession, and you are saying that he said to you that Senzo Meyiwa,
yeah.
This is a problem.
What?
This whole case is based on accused number 1 telling him Senzo Meyiwa.
No, man, Emil, no. No, I'm gonna be that judge now.
But he's saying that, in other words, there was no other deceased by the name of Senzo Meyiwa, and he's saying that accused number 1, based on the fact that he said Senzo Meyiwa. I don't know, that tantamounted to a confession. Recall that part of evidence.
What he's saying is that he believed accused number 1 because there's only one Senzo Meyiwa that passed away during that time in that area. So to him, that then therefore is a bit of truth, since there is a bit of misleading also. It is corroborating what happened that day. That's what he's saying.
Well, this was only one Nisi. This was the only one. He's saying that Senzo was the only one. Then Nisi objected, okay, saying that GININDA is not seized with the function of drawing inferences. It is not a fact. It is for the court to deal with inferences, not a witness who is an investigating officer. Because they did not deal with Munisi's objection prior, right? It got him to sit down. Now he was raising it again. And he was saying, him bringing the facts before this court, not to tell the court that it should draw inferences. He said this is highly, highly irregular. Okay, and Baloyi said that the court is trained to separate opinion and
he was rehashing
reasoning.
what the judge said.
He was repeating what the judge was saying. And I'm asking myself that if you're going to repeat what the judge is saying and say that, then how come all the other witnesses were stopped from giving their opinions? You were stopping people from giving opinions this entire time. Well, then Baloyi said that what he thinks, as what the witness is saying, is that the name of Senzo Meyiwa is being mentioned here, which is what the case is all about. But he said that he will request the witness to refrain from making any inferences and just stick with the facts. And he was saying this, he was looking at his notes. I will just inform the witness to refrain from making. I'm like, Haibo, can't you what is going on? I find this very weird. I find it very weird. And he was speaking so low, and I'm like, oh, to go. Tell the witness to stop making inferences. Well, then GININDA said that Mnisi was quoting him out of context. Now he was entering the battleground now. The battleground that is supposed to be taken care of by the state prosecutor, Advocate Baloyi. Brigadier GININDA now was entering the scene, you understand now. He said that he left it the first time when Advocate Mnisi brought it up, meaning that for that first objection, he actually wanted to respond to what Advocate Mnisi was objecting to, and he can see now that Advocate Mnisi is continuing, and I'm like, the audacity of this man. Doesn't he understand that he's a witness, right? What is going on? Mnisi then stood to say that Mr. Baloyi is the prosecutor here, okay? Is the prosecutor. This is the one who actually had to remind him that Mr. Baloyi is actually the state prosecutor here, and you are the witness. He is under the guidance of the prosecutor. He cannot do things willy-nilly, referring to Brigadier GININDA. And Mshololo said that if there is an objection, the witness is not allowed to give explanations unless they are invited to do so by the court. Guess what? The judge allowed GININDA to explain himself. And he now went after accused number 3, Mr. Mnisi's client, to Brigadier GININDA, saying that the firearm that was used as a murder weapon was linked to accused number 3. Mnisi said that he was objecting. That is totally irrelevant. How does he say that the firearm is linked to accused number 3 when that aspect is being investigated? Bekushushu. He even asked Ramusipili konje ukdelela ngesilungu. What is disrespect in English? And then Advocate Ramusipili, not Advocate, Mr. Ramusipili was like, it's disrespect. Oh my God, that, I was like, wow. All I can say is wow. That a witness can do what Brigadier GININDA was doing. Well, Mnisi said that he's disrespectful to this court because he can only speak to the court through the prosecutor. What he's doing was total disrespect of the House, and he was going to request the court to tell him to refrain from doing that, because now he's saying that the firearm in question is linked to accused number 3, where is he getting that from? Because that aspect is still being investigated, and he called it total disrespect. Baloyi told GININDA that they will get to those aspects. He completely abandoned this and turned to SBIYA'S confession statement. GININDA read from the confession, and he asked GININDA if they knew Basutung Hostel, and he said at the time they didn't know Basutung Hostel. GININDA said that when they entered Mkhulu's house, Mkhulu is from Swaziland. They told him they were going to kill Senzo Meyiwa, reading from the statement of accused number 1, or the confession. He said it was the 3 of us. Marco told us that Kelly wanted money from Senzo, but he did not tell Mkhulu that. Mkhulu checked for us and told us that we were going to succeed in killing Senzo. He also gave us medicine to put on our wrists or hands and waists. We paid Mkulu 50 rands for the work. Kelly asked where we were.
And Mkulu on the other side is saying these people were saying they have a job to do, and there was no such thing as mentioned as I saw that they were going to be able to kill Senzo. Their job. It just doesn't make sense.
50 rand.
It just doesn't make sense because Mkulu never talked about prophesying on them that they are going to succeed in killing Senzo. He never.
Kelly asked where we were. We alighted from the vehicle. We discussed that we were going to make it seem like a robbery. The firearm was in Marco's possession. GININDA said at the time of this confession, all this information was not known to the police. Baloyi asked that what was said by Absalom Zungu to be left out. So Absalom
Very
Zungu
worrying about that Absalom Zungu. That Absalom Zungu must be called. The defense must not leave him. It must be called. I know those people from KZ, and they will tell that they will break and tell the truth. I'm telling you.
Are you sure?
He's an old man from Emakai. I can almost feel, in my opinion, that he doesn't even know what is happening on his name. Maybe he has a clue, but he does not maybe even agree
because
on what is happening. The father is still in Wanongo.
Yes.
He's not in Newcastle. So these people are separated. These are two people who are living in a separate place. This one lives with the people from the accused side. You know, probably he will help them break this case by saying, "I never heard that. I don't know what they were talking about."
But the statement is there, according to Brigadier GININDA, that Absalom Zungu made.
Like any other statement is there, like any confession is there. There are confessions there that when you read, you could almost tell that this is not Danze writing here. This is not SBIYA writing here. You can almost tell.
Mr. Anonymous, you are tired?
You can almost tell.
Allegedly.
I am fed up, man. I'm fed up.
You are tired. I can feel it in your spirit.
I'm telling you, I've got a 90% chances that this man, if you were to call him as a defense, he would tell you he never told anybody that. He never wrote any statement.
Yes. Then the judge asked him if the father of Zungu made a statement, and he said yes. And he asked him if he knew about the case, Dipoko, which was hearsay evidence from the CSA, Supreme Court of Appeal. It's related to Mudimu or something like that. And he said it's about a report which was made by a person to a witness. This was kind of like giving Advocate Baloyi a clue or something that can help support. I don't know what is the why did they I don't know, but usually when stuff like this happens, we know that this case will be used.
And that thing of expunging now, it is happening in that court. This judge isn't the same judge who said it does not expunge anything, but that is amounting to expunging.
It's expunging, right? Saying
yes.
that Absalom Zungu's stuff should not be said on the record. That's expansion that you said when I don't want to do, and this court does not do that. I remember Advocate Nisi asking for something to be expunged from the record, and he said that cannot be done.
You know what I like about Baloyi? He leaves himself open wide to all this, because the people that he's dropping them because, in my opinion, I feel like they cannot be coached. That's my opinion. I feel like they cannot follow a script like Absalom. Umuntu wasemakhaya lo uzomtshela lento sasa afike umenze umkhulume cross examine, and then when they come he's gonna change, same as Buthelezi. In fact, they realize through Buthelezi. Remember that Buthelezi who changed on the
stand, the one who was friends,
and then all of a sudden the judge said he was threatened. He saw it.
Friends of accused number 2.
They change those people.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, if you play on their feelings, you'll forever.
That's what kind of happened with Butelis as well.
Yes.
And then he reminisced about his
Yes.
own time
Ubuntu
being
khona,
arrested
and I
and
can
being
tell
in
you
prison.
for sure. That's why these police, they must come from this side. That side, Ubuntu khona.
Well, then GININDA said that after dropping the call, he told us that Kelly Kumalo is calling and wanted to know if we're coming. Then we alighted to the corner and we walked on foot to the house, and the firearm was with Marco, and he asked who was going to enter the house. We decided that we can make as if we are committing a robbery, and the firearm was one, and it was in Marco's possession. Marco asked who was going to get in. I told them, not me. I'm going to stand outside and watch. If there's somebody who comes in and disturbs us, I must quickly report. Marco and Makimbi got into the house, and Marco was the one who was in possession of the firearm. At the time, we all knew what was he, Usbia, was one of the perpetrators, according to GININDA. And what we got from Absalom Zungu was that he was one of the shooters. We did not know all this information.
They're still using Absalom Zungu.
He continued reading from the confession, and he said that from the confession that he never knew all this information.
The defense must just prepare and call these people. Blind them.
Yeah.
And don't even prepare them. Don't prepare. Don't do anything.
Just bring them.
Just bring them straight, direct.
Natural.
Give them the place to sleep. If you can
Give
find
them
a
enough
security
rest.
guy or something who can stand in that door, because
Anything can happen at this point.
just bring those people direct.
Then they entered the house and asked for a cell phone. They said that they found 3 people in the house, and one of them was Kelly Kumalo. They said Senzo refused to give him a cell phone, and he stood and grabbed him. The statement had a lot of
Remember the protection
errors.
part? He was protecting me.
Yes. And also the MEC on that night in the documentary saying that apparently Senzo was shot trying to protect Kelly. She also repeated that protection element of things. And then Marco took out the firearm and shot Senzo. Kelly ran to the bedroom. The sound of the firearm rang twice and they ran out.
So
we
it
ran
was
to
3
the car.
times, according to this. And I want to make it clear, 3 times. Because it might confuse you when Baloi later asked about 2 times. 3 times. There was a shot, and then after running to the bathroom, coming back, and then there was a shot twice when he went to the bedroom now, running to the bedroom.
That's Miss Popola's evidence.
No, I'm talking about this one.
Oh, this one.
The so-called confession.
Oh,
yes.
So the confession had the ringing twice.
Yes, that twice Baloi took it, the last one. But there was the first one that made Kelly to run to the bathroom.
Aibo. And they ran out. He said, we ran to the car that was parked at the corner and we drove to the hostel. They said they never took anything. GININDA said that the issue of money and cell phones was contained in the statements from the occupants of the house. He said it also corroborated Kelly's statement, which said that she ran to the bedroom. The mentioning of 2 shots, GININDA says that it corroborated the ballistic evidence. According to what Mungina found, he found 2.
Go and revisit that part when they were reading that so-called confession. It's 3 times. 3 times. And they later also make that mistake of calling it 3 times.
What confession are you referring to? Is it the original or the first time the confession was read?
Accused number one, the one that he was reading, GININDA was reading.
Okay.
Yes.
So GININDA then said Marco gave him a call and said he would go and fetch money from Kelly. He then gave him a call at 9 o'clock to say that they had been paid for the work. He gave him 30,000 rands, and they agreed that they would give Mkulu 5,000 rands for the assistance. GININDA said that at some point he thought Sibia was one of the shooters but was lying. But he later realized after looking at the contents and corroboration that he was telling the truth.
Okay.
He was indeed standing outside.
Okay.
That led to accused 3 and 4 and 5.
Okay. Do you remember a long time ago? I always felt like initially one of these guys who are accused, they probably accepted the offer, if there was an offer, and they said, okay, fine, and then we will exclude you. In a sense, this guy was just there, present in the yard. And that was an initial theory. Then later there was a resistance, and that resistance changed the whole thing, in my opinion. And then, unfortunately, the theory now cannot be thrown out completely.
Well, allegations of
How did he see that he did not shoot? How did he see that he did not shoot? How?
I don't know.
How can you explain that now? Eventually, I realized that he didn't. How? How did you do that? How did you do that? Did you just stand oh yeah, he was standing outside. The car was in the corner. That Ntabi did not see.
We are still stuck on the fact that accused number 1 was outside watching, and somehow he could narrate exactly what happened inside the
same as Longotwal. Same as Longotwal. He ran outside. He was a coward of the day.
That is what we are still trying to digest.
Yet he was trying to be a hero.
And now we have to digest now that you believed that accused number 1 was telling the truth when he said that he didn't shoot. But we don't know how and how you came to that conclusion. And then you went to accused number 3. Now you jump accused number 2. That led to accused 3, 4, and 5. What about accused number 2? Baloyi then said reference was also made to the payments of money. He wanted to show the photos that identify them. GININDA went through photos of the album of accused number 3's phone, and he asked about the pictures of stacks of money that were saved as Igugulo Mhlaba, Impande Sono, and other names. The photos apparently contained 3, a bundle of 100 Rand notes, and photo 4 contained 200 Rand notes and 100 Rand notes. Well, with this one, I mean, he's currently convicted for being an Inkabi, so Nkabis handle cash allegedly, so I don't know.
It's in Kaylee's phone, Pal.
So GININDA then said it dated on the 2nd of September 2014, and then photo 5 contained transparent plastics with money, 100 Rand and 200 Rand notes, and photo 6 written Niofanini Nkhohlwe. Niofanini Nkhohlwe. When am I going to die and forget? It contained 100 Rand notes and 200 Rand notes on the floor. He said similar pictures were found in the downloads of Kelly Khumalo's phone and Longotwala's phone.
So why are they not arrested?
I don't know. I remember there was a report of this earlier this year in the newspaper. It was a Sunday newspaper. I just said I can't remember which one.
If that can be used as evidence, why are they not arrested?
I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea why they are not arrested, and I don't know if these downloads from Kelly Khumalo's phone and Longotwala's phone were presented, because all we are hearing is that it was from accused number 3's phone. Well, GININDA said that he can confirm that SBIYA was staying at the Basotho hostel as contained in the statement. He continued to go through the pointings out that was allegedly done by SBIYA, and he allegedly pointed out to the crime scene where he was dropped off after the crime. He said that he was dropped off at some passage or something, and then he walked or something like that. So GININDA then said that this is something else that corroborated where he was dropped off. He said that they did not know the information. It was also corroborated by other witnesses. So he was saying that he was dropped off at Basotho hostel. So asked on what he makes of SBIYA'S distancing himself from GININDA.
Let me tell you what is crazy about this.
Okay.
Both the Buthelezi guys, initially GININDA said they stay at Basotho hostel.
Yes.
Why are they dropping this guy off now?
I don't know.
In the very same line.
Hey, but I don't know. I don't know.
So these 3 guys, they were staying in one area. Why were they dropped off?
Highway they dropped off exactly, like they were going to the same place. Why are they leaving him in some street, in some passage, and not going with him to their place of residence? Basotho
I'm talking about something that was said today, that they were staying at Basotho, according to the so-called confession.
Now they were dropping him off as he was on his way home. Akahambanga kahle ke phela lana. Well, then Gininda said that Colonel Mboto's statement and his own statement are the same. He said that SBI is the only person that could have known all of that information. And Advocate Baloyi said that he was about to get into the confession of accused number 2, but all parties have reached an agreement that they will adjourn on Monday. And the defense confirmed that, yeah, they did agree that they were going to adjourn early. So here's my problem. Where is the pictures that they are saying they downloaded from Longwe Twala's phone and Kelly Kumalo's phone? And where are the discs? You know, the norm, the usual norm.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm done. For those
where are the discs? Where are the downloads?
Where are the downloads?
You are told that they exist.
I mean, it's nice when you throw these. But nothing excites me anymore.
Look, don't be surprised. You might find that they are there with the same date, and that's the only pictures you'll ever find in Kelly's phone, and that's the only picture that you'll ever find in Longo's phone. Same as the SMS. They were able to retrieve one SMS out of, I don't know, God knows how many.
And on top of it,
Let me answer this. Zanzi, hello.
Hi, Mr. Anu. Hi, Emily.
Hi, Nan.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good.
Now I'm stressed. I'm stressed with all these loopholes that are not making sense. Like it's a mess.
Oh, it's a hot mess. It's a hot mess. You know, it seems like lackluster performance is rewarded. You know, people have achieved promotions and PhD. You know, while others are just rotting in prison until eternity.
Yeah.
You know, this case will make you question your own sanity. It's like your house against the wall. You know, for the non-Sutu speakers, what I'm saying is that, you know, this case will make you question your own sanity to a point where you'll find yourself just banging your head against the wall.
Yes.
You know?
It will.
Yeah, what a week it was. What an interesting week. You know, the starring of the show was in the courthouse. What more can we say? You know, Denzel Washington himself was in the courthouse this week. So, you know, just, you know, giving us a rundown of the story, of the script, and directing it whichever way he wanted to direct it. And we were just the audience just watching, you know?
Yeah.
You know, what I'm going to say today, really, it's just that I'm just venting and, you know, venting my frustration about what happened in you know, what that guy did. And it is entirely my opinion. It's not the opinion of the channel. Okay. So just to get that out of the way.
Right.
Yeah. So the main, you know, this guy has main character syndrome, and he has an inflated sense of self-importance because he has been allowed to run amok and treat, you know, South African police service as his inheritance, like some other people have said. You know, this man is so arrogant, he's condescending, he lacks credibility, and he tries to appear professional and educated. You know, he's trying so hard to sound sophisticated by using big words like inference, subsequently, corroborate, you know, and which, by the way, he mispronounces and then it irritates the crap out of me, you know? He's just...
I told you.
He's just...
Corroborate or something like that.
Yeah. And then he just irritates the crap out of me. You know, he's just playing into the stereotypes of a culture that perceives so-called eloquent English speakers as intelligent. You know, he over-explains because he's trying so hard to sound convincing. And funny enough, Mr. Judge is eating from his hand. You know, he's just passively observing this nonsense because he's also one of those people who thinks speaking English eloquently places you in an exclusive category. You know, he has alluded to this in so many ways. It's actually disgusting. You know, yesterday I observed a subtle yet loud power struggle between GININDA and Judge Rata, which was permeating through the walls of that courtroom. And I really applaud Munisi for calling this cluster crap out. You know, it was embarrassing to hear a defense counsel reminding a whole judge of his duties. You know, this man is so biased and passive when it comes to the conduct of the state and its witnesses, to a point where he can't sustain or overrule an objection. He just giggles, bites his tongue, and then he places his hand on his mouth. It's just so nauseating to watch, really, you know? And then the second thing that I want to talk about is Absalom. Why is Absalom being excluded from coming forward to be questioned about the damning allegations that he has made? My question is, did Absalom confirm Zungu's suspicions? In it, Zungu claims that the boys came to the hostel all hyped up, flustered, and acting strange. So did he then later have a conversation with Absalom, who then dropped the big bomb, Yahore? He was eavesdropping and then overheard a conversation. And at that point, is that when Zungu started to connect the dots? That day when the boys came in acting strange, it was because they had just committed this horrendous crime. And then at that point, he reached out to the big shots there by SAPS. I'm confused as to how someone can corroborate another person's suspicions and then be excluded from testifying. If Zungu's statement was all suspicion, wouldn't it make sense that Absalom's statement is even more important to give weight to the suspicion that Zungu had, because he heard people talking? Do you understand? So how then can you bring a guy who just made a statement based on suspicious observations, right?
Yeah.
Bring that guy forward, but then exclude the one who actually had a conversation? It doesn't make sense to me.
It does not.
Something is going on there and something is not right. It is just so clear that this is just all fiction. You know, this guy, like I said before, you know, he's just there to piss on our feet and tell us that it's raining. And we can smell piss. Not rain, it's piss. We can smell it all the way, you know? And by the way,
how I feel.
Yeah. And by the way, to conclude, he needs to liaise with Mr. PhD so that Mr. PhD can teach him the difference between to collaborate and to corroborate. Because those are two different things.
Yes.
Maybe he can learn from Mr. PhD. You know,
Please.
to all the viewers of our channel, thank you so much for giving, you know, and for supporting us, liking the videos and sharing the videos, because this is the only way that we can spread awareness of what is going on through the channel.
Definitely.
So liking and sharing the video. I love you guys so much, and you take care.
Thank you. We love you too, Ned. We love you. Thank you so
Bye.
much. And that's literally how I feel. I feel like someone is pissing and I'm being told it's raining and I can smell piss.
Exactly.
I feel that way.
There's no better way of saying it.
I feel that
Guys,
way.
just continue liking the video as the word has been said. Please like the video. Mzansi, hello. I can hear myself. Hi, sir. The volume at the back, can you please?
Yes, I have.
Yes.
Daniel.
You can shoot.
I'm sorry about that.
No, it's not a problem.
Of me.
Yeah.
Hi. Bafethu ngingafona a couple of times. Yabona nje ngiqale ngesiZulu. Kuyihlazo ukuphila eSouth Africa in as far as the case is concerned. Ngicela nje ukuzama ukuqala ngejudge. If lo baba lo noma ngabe kuthiwa futhi angifanele ngabe ngimbiza ngobaba. Uke wenza comments along the lines of uttering in court ukuthi siyazi vele oqhwasha benziwa kuphi benziwe KZN.
Yes. He did.
A judge saying that. A judge saying, yeah, so kungathiwa nginivalela esakeni. A judge now that has slightly stopped winking to the state witnesses, but there are smiles all over his face. Mangabe leslima les abathi GININDA sikhuluma ujabulile. Those are other psychological signs. I think Absalom Zoom, is this surname Zoom? Absalom.
Yes.
I hope umngomezulu ambize ngoba ngicabanga ukuthi akayisabi le case umngomezulu uyibambe by its horns as to whether uTifo umngani wakhe or not, I don't care. But kuzobonakala. And then siyafika court today. Someone is getting celebrated. My lord, Sibanda is going to be conferred with his PhD. Ebuye UNISA. I'm sorry, one thing about from the UNISA, if any. I'm very, very sorry. But how can we have to praise that now really be expected to congratulate this guy and say this is an achievement? Thus, we've had some state witnesses, Estelwa Uguti, they come from the University of Vodacom. We're getting to have a very serious problem ukuthi siplane ignore education ekufanele kube yiyo.
Yebo.
Because kunabantu ekufanele kufike laphana kuthiwe bayadunyiswa. There is nothing about that squeaky voice boy, like Umgomezulu once told him ukuthi his state has a tendency of objecting even when they have no substance. You know, we did not take it seriously. Why? Because the judge, and that is why umnisi akusikho nokuthi singisi besimbalekela. Vele kufanele umlande ngaphandle athi asike sibone ngequpho ukuthi urighting. Ukuthi usuyadelela kahle kahle. Akusikho ukuthi umnisi besikhohliwe isingisi lapha. English is very, very easy to speak. It's an easy language. Bewukuthi umnisi in a subtle way ebetshela ijudge ukuthi labantu badelela because uyabasupporta. Ebengekayibeke directly kanjalo, but that is why they misbehaving the way misbehaving ngakhona. Ngoba ukuqala kokubola kwesaka lamazambane kuqala ngelilodwa. Urata Mkhwakeng elibolile izambane. Uthe umamakho uyasazi isiZulu. Ngathi ngatholana naye ngaphandle asidlala induku kancane. Angazi ukuthi kancane nje bayongibamba bangibambayo. Ayikho lo baba lento ayenzayo if ubaba ulala kanjani. Kulula ukuthi kuthiwe accused number 1 no so yibona indaba ye-ID ukuthi ingane zakhe ziye esikolweni. Mabe kuGININDA wenze qualification ebalulekile. Excuse me? Excuse me? What did you just say? Mabe sekufanele kube iqupha ayiye. Ayisekho lento mana abayenzayo. Akupha ama-ethics ngempela. Because mawenza ilaw ngicabanga ukuthi ama-ethics ayafundiswa. Ngenza okunye nami engiwenzile esikoleni. But ethics, asike siwayeke ama-ethics imfundiso nje yasekhaya but ukhulele kwenye indawo ngithandile lapho Anonymous mangabuthi e-KZN kancane kancane kuyavela iqiniso liyaphuma sinjalo sikhuliswe kanjalo and leyo nto le ngenze ngiyilahle nami kwamina ezumuntu noma ngathiwa kunjani ngiyolikhuluma iqiniso ngiyamangala abokheli mawuthi uyafunda ngabo babuye enquthu you know uphunembeza futhi ukukhulume nayo into eyenzakala la endlini ukhulu kulala namanga mina simple ukuthi ngintshontshe 5 cent if ngeke ngayintshontsha angikhoni hawusuka umoya womuntu ulele phansi usaqhubeka namanga impilo is just normal ayikho lento bangahlasela isigebengu esiphethe isibhambona besishaya ngeinduku beyishaya ngeimfaduko bashaya ngamastilulu ushaya inkabi nonsense iyo lento esiyilalele ungashaya inkabi ngestilulu neimfaduko uthatha imfaduko uyifake esinkini uyimanzise bese kuthiwa sithi sine justice system no let's be serious no let's be serious siyahlekwa umhlaba wonke as a result of such pathetic people I'm sorry angazi noma ngithi ngiyabonga noma ngithini kodwa iyanyanyisa manje lento lena
kubonga thina
it is
qhubekani futhi nomsebenzi omuhle because in this educate yazi besingeke sibe aware mina as in for one I wouldn't have been ngiyawubonga umsebenzi wenu muhle niqhubeke ni-advertise nalega lesiqalile ka I think Habit is it Habit or Hubert ngizosupporta konke nokusupporta notifo this is very very important because lezi zinto asizazi sicabanga ukuthi ukuhlala endlini ku-safe ngesizulu but icala leyivula ingubo lingene ngelinye ilanga kuyobe kuyimi sengiqala ngiyacomplain manje ngithi ayingicela umhlaba ungisize umhlaba uvele uyithulele nawo so we must not keep quiet education is now on our I'm sorry to speak for long but good job guys
siyabonga kakhulu
ngiyabonga nami siyabonga kakhulu
right all the views are from the caller all is alleged the views are separated from the channel the caller called Mzansi hello Mzansi hello Mzansi, hello. Yes, how are you, sir?
Hi, how are you guys?
Oh, we're fine, sir. We're fine. We hope that you're good.
Number one, just want to say thank you so much for the caller who just called now. I'm really happy about the caller. And what I wanted to also say is Mam Fundisi. Mam Fundisi said to the public, because it's a court of public, I arrested this guy not because of Senzo Meyiwa.
Yes.
GININDA namhla that Bragadia GININDA come and say we arrested this guy because of Senzo Meyiwa.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm watching the judge is sitting there, like I'm asking myself, what is he writing back there and now? Because myself, it does not make sense. If Mamfundisi said, I never, Prakadia GININDA never even give us anything. We just actually did what's it like to investigate, but we don't know about the case. Prakadia GININDA come and say they know about the case.
Yeah.
But I'm watching the judge from there. He's quiet.
It's all good.
He's taking what he wants to take. That, you know, the only thing that I'm asking myself is, who's that JP? I'm asking myself, like, we are actually, as I'm not gonna say African, the country. We are watching this series, but the series now is the certain time where we watch a series and say that this is not adding up. They fake it. This is the fake that you can see it, you know. Like it does not make sense because I'm trying to think about the confession. I had GININDA reading the confession of accused number 1. You will see that the way they wrote the confession is like he's the one who said that. That's why they are trying to make that the English is not making sure because it's a Zulu guy.
That's where it unfortunately didn't land well. I get it. I told Emil about this. Didn't I tell you about this?
Yeah, because the Zulu guy, the way they read the English, you can see it's okay. They wrote that the English wasn't making sure.
And then they forgot that they were translating, allegedly.
But anyway, thank you so much. And thank you to Emily. I can see you. No, you have to apply, Mama, maybe to the news and read in Davazango 7 or past 7.
Okay.
He will be muted then after that. He won't be allowed.
Verbal diarrhea. I'll be like, this is nonsense. What am I reading here?
Imagine you have to read.
I mean, Jessica, you live. We're live. No. You cannot.
Imagine having to read that JNU is doing incredibly well.
But Tong, I can't.
Nzanzi, hello. Nzanzi, hello.
Hello, Kunjani, Mr. No.
Oh, so we're good.
Hello, Emily.
Hi.
Mr. Anong Lungis, the previous caller, Lobe, Kuluma Kala, Zulu, uzwiseka buhlungu man. Yazi ngesinye isikhathi sicabanga ukuthi ezinye izinto kuyadlalwa or izinto eziserious-le. And futhi we can't expect ukuthi even the people that I'm living with la ngihlala khona, they always ask me, hey, why usoloko uyi-relative ka Senzo? And uzawufuna ukukhulumela uSenzo everything it yazi I put myself in that position I choose lapho ukuthi my into wrong mayibe njalo, so there's no need yokuthi upretend as if no ebesenza into zakhe lapho udukile senza into zakhe leyo sayazi ukuthi it's a mistake, but ukufihla ububi bomunye umuntu uvela uye kumuntu ongenacala omsulwa. That's a bad thing. So people don't understand ukuthi ukuthi sibambeke kabuhlungu la ezinhlizweni. Yabo.
They don't
ukuthi ezinye izinto sizibuke zisenzeka. Mase zenzeka ukuthi sesifuna uncedo manje. Ukuthi abantu, so that's why sifuneke eSouth Africa sibe ne mindset yokuthi masibe banye njengoba judge belukhuluma ukuthi ubuntu, but he doesn't practice ubuntu yena self. So ngijabule kakhulu ukuzwa ukhola, and the way ebekhuluma ngakhona uyamuza ukuthi lo muntu uhlabekile into ayibukayo every day eTV. So we have to sibukane nalento every single day is torture in itself.
It is.
Because asilali lapha sicabanga ukuthi ide na izolo mabe kupostpone kuthiwa kuzawuziwa Monday. You feel like hey man labantu babasebenze up until 3:00.
Yes.
Up until 4. Yes.
Why i-case starting ngo-9? Then baye ku-lunch ngo-11. Kuqalwa ngo-12. Baphume ngo-3 or ngo-4. So this is time wasting. Angiyiboni i-case iqala ngo-9:30. Ngo-11 sebefuna ngo-11 sebethi baya-short adjournment.
Fethi iqala ngo-10.
Iqala ngo-10.
If not
ngo-11. 11 sebethi baya ku-short adjournment.
Yeah.
Bayabuya ngo-5 to 12 ngo-12. Go-1 sebesithi baya ku-long adjournment. Kuthi this court ingena nje 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours.
Yes.
So this is not fair for family Senzo because angiboni progress kule case. Because uGININDA naye uzothi uyabhala ngomso. Monday kuzobe ubaloyi embuza futhi ethi sikhipha ama-picture manje up until i-short adjournment. Akonto ekhulunyiweyo. Kungona zawupresenta lama-picture la bengabukwanga.
But siyahleka ngoba uyahleka noma kushoniwe.
Nyani kubuhlungu ba. Kubuhlungu. And manje into engiyibonile uGININDA uyaziconfuse yena self because uyayazi ukuthi kwenzekani. Manje the way afuna upainta this thing akhona ukuthi kufuneke izithombe zemali zafumana ifoni nkakheli na manje seke faka nolongo ukuthi naye kutholakele izithombe lapha. Mina angiyazi ukuthi ufuna ukuthi umastermind uKelly nolongo bayayazi le ndaba.
Trying to bring us back to them now.
Yes, but ngoku why engababambi if enalo information from that? Because he says information we gather from 2016 up until now. So why always information why engababambi? Why efuna uba exclude aphinda abafake phakathi? Usenza izilima usenza izilima ukuthi laba ngiyabakhipha ngizobafaka kancane bengathi i-public ibona ukuthi siyasebenza siyaba-implicate kancane siphinde sibakhiphe.
Yes.
This is disgusting. Ngiyonyanya noxa ngibukela lapha uGININDA angimameli kakhulu ngilinde nje i-cross examination because ngiyadineka ukuzwa ubaloyi emane phinda. Uyabona manje ubukela ubaloyi ngomvulo uzokhuluma zona lezi zinto lezi esizikhuluma. Enzingathi bebekhohliwe. And ijudge iyayivumela loo nto. Bengithi nje ngidlulise lapho ngiyambonga lo baba lo bekhuluma kuqala ukhulume kabuhlungu manje ngithachile lento yakhe.
Yeah. Awusebo.
But ke lapha size ngozobonisana sizanga ngokuthi into engiyikhuluma yiyo siyabonisana ndisa. Siyavuyela le channel yenu ngoba nyani siyafunda lukhulu la.
Thank you.
Siyabonga Mr.
Siyabonga kakhulu.
Hey guys.
Yeah, in short, because some of these calls were, even the other one didn't interpret, but in short, you're saying he's happy to hear a person who's full in this case and the feelings and everything are there.
Emotionally touched.
Speaking from his feelings. He also speaks about this case most of the time, and people say, are you siblings or are you related to these people or Senzo? But he's actually thinking about the people who are accused and also the family. So he's happy to hear people that are really devoted to this case and are really feeling the most pain in a sense, because feels they are closer to the families of these people.
I also asked all the time, are we related to any of the accused? No, we are not.
Not by any chance. Not by any chance.
We're just baffled. We're just wondering what is happening, particularly to South African natives. It's sad.
And someone is saying, GININDA had time to study the testimonies and statements, so he's now linking everything to his own narrative. Zanzi, hello. Allegedly. Zanzi, hello.
Hi guys, Ninjan.
Sikhona unjani?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
We can hear you. You can shoot.
All right. So my issue is that I think City Abarongo guys, we are the ones at fault here because the trial is happening in the future where cars change colors. And also where situations make sense and good because we are so behind, they are not making sense.
Yeah.
Because how can Usbia committed the crime on Saturday? Senzo died twice. And we are just missing that team because we're too slow.
Yeah.
And also, how can there were 3 people in the house, Senzo and the 2 girls, one which happened to be Kelly. But it still makes sense. It is aligned with the statements.
According to Guinea, yes.
According to Guinea, it makes sense. And also, Spia testifies. But when the confession, voluntarily, willingly, unprovoked, nobody asked him. But he decided, this thing is too heavy for me, let me just let it go. But at the same time, he uchinja magama to confuse them, misleads them. And that makes sense to GININDA, and it's supposed to make sense to us.
Yes.
So I think it's us who are not getting something. Bona they are somewhere in the future beyond technology. Tina sisele la ezansi phansi kakhulu. Thank you guys.
Thank you very much.
Hey, why beg? Perhaps we are the ones who are behind. Perhaps we are the crazy ones. Perhaps we are the ones.
Yeah, they're saying that. Right, this is the time of the register.
Guys.
Guys, Milan, I'm tired. I am tired. You get tired. Mlungis Jonas, thank you very much for being with us. We appreciate you. T Brown Skin, thank you, our member, for being with us. Norman Kweyama, thank you very much for being with us. Takawira, thank you very much for being with us. I hope I'm correct in your name. Dan, thank you for being with us. Chuku Anna, thank you for being with us. Busani Sibanda, thank you for being with us. Sizwe 18, our member. Busani Sibanda, our member. Chuku Anna, our member. Colin Lovo, thank you for being with us. Trudy Tools, thank you for being with us. We appreciate you guys, and this is our appreciation to you. John, thank you for being with us. Lola, thank you for being with us. Our member. Sia, Msia, thank you very much for being with us. We appreciate you. You are appreciated this side. Colin Vavidal, thank you for being with us. We appreciate you. Lulama Srai, our member, thank you for being with us. Lungis Jonas, thank you for being with us. Ned, thank you for being with us. Baballo, thank you for being with us. We appreciate you. Just going down. Dokas Shabalal, thank you for being with us. Busison Love, thank you for being with us. Nomcebo Kamile Dangamand, thank you for being with us. Brandangema Madlogov, thank you for being with us. We appreciate you. Let's go down. But into Sienkom Bashojalo Ongema. Yes. Moodley, G Moodley, thank you for being with us. Let's see. I'm trying to go through everyone that is here as fast as I can. No men have been mentioned. Tembelani Kanye, thank you for being with us. Awana Andile, thank you for being with us. Tumisang, thank you for being with us. We appreciate you very much. Let's see who is not mentioned here. Are you getting any other people, Emily, from your side?
I think you covered everyone.
Brian Stoll, thank you for being with us. We appreciate you. MZ, thank you for being with us. Mabo, thank you for being with us. May Tumhlanga, thank you for being with us. Let me see. Lindi Dlamini, thank you for being with us. Butlali, thank you for being with us. We appreciate you. Just going down as fast as I can. Busansband, I've mentioned you. Vusutando, thank you for being with us. We appreciate you. I haven't mentioned everyone, Emily. Nolukanyo Nkau, thank you for being with us. I see you. Mamel, our member, thank you for being with us, maintaining our membership here. Thank you. We appreciate you. Let's see. Dineo Kadimeng, thank you, our member. Thank you for being with us. We appreciate it. Tibuo, thank you for being with us. Just going down.
I'm seeing names you've already mentioned. So
Mpilenhle Sandy, thank you for being with us. I have to keep the names that I've mentioned in my head, so I kind of know who I've mentioned. Gaby, our member, thank you for being with us. Just going down. Backyard Mechanic, thank you for being with us. Asif Valeni, Backyard Mechanic, Asif Valeni. Sizwe 18, I think I've mentioned you. MT Darwin, thank you for being with us. Yes, Brigadier Ginindi is always gonna make us talk. It's not Lindiwe, thank you for being with us. Usanisban, yes, it's gonna be Pilentle, I've mentioned you. Let's see who.
Vusi Tobakale.
Yes, Vusi Tobakale. I've not mentioned Vusi Tobakale.
Puti, what about me?
Yes, you've been mentioned now. You've been mentioned. Maybe you get those ones at the end, Emily. Those ones who are saying.
I'm looking at them because every time I would scroll up,
thank you.
I repeat.
For being with us. Pakana 82.
Lindi Dlamini
have been mentioned. Thank you for being with us. But if we haven't, then Lindi Dlamini, yes. I see. Vusi, yes, we've been mentioned by MS Vusi Somlungis Mhlabane. Thank you for being with us. We appreciate you.
Chukuana. Today, Karobal, I'm proud of myself. Yesterday, Kitepile online, so she said she fell asleep while she was online.
Tuso William, thank you for being with us. It's normal. I do that a lot. I doze off. Hazel, Bebe, thank you for being with us. Yes, it happened. This is social media. I do that a lot. Yeah, guys, I think I've covered almost all of you. If I missed you, I'm sorry. Andrew, thank you for being with us. We appreciate you. I love you guys, and good night. See you in the next one. Keep well, my Mzansi siblings, cousins, daughters, and sons. Thank you
Family.
For your unwavering support. That's Nat. Thank you, Nat. Thank you. We appreciate you. This side, who didn't I mention? Oh, we almost left this one. Look at what is happening towards the end. I see that 35 rand. Thank you.
Lola Mutsileng. Thank you, Lola. Thank you. May God bless you, increase your finances. Everything. Let it all be well. And guys, we must be strong, hey? I almost feel like we're almost there. Let's just hang in there. Not personally, GININDA, it's a lot. But I will beg as hell.
Yes. Dr. Mkize.
We're getting there.
Thank you.
It's been 2
Gloria
years.
Berger, thank you for being with us. Thank you. Yes, we've been through the worst.
Yeah,
the PhD
where we had no information at all. At least now the information. So thank you. Let us pat ourselves on the back, and we will see at the end what happens. And most of all, let us also keep the Meyiwa family in our prayers at all times.
But Chipiwa, June, thank you for being with us.
Be strong.
Yes, and everyone else who has been affected by this case.
They need to be strong.
It's no longer now the Meyiwa families.
Spiritually as well.
It has affected a lot of people, changed a lot of people's life, to be honest.
Everyone is affected. Guys,
thank you guys. Please like the video. While you're stepping out, please like the video, share the video, comment as much as you can, and subscribe and become a member. Do whatever. There's super chat. Thank you. We appreciate it. We see it all the time, and we always attend to it. If we don't see it, it's not that we don't appreciate you. We do appreciate everything that comes from you guys. The support, everything. Please like the video on your way out. It's a bye from me.
Bye, guys. Bye.